What's the worst way you have ever got rejected? I asked this girl out. She started to cry and told me I looked just like her brother that had died in Iraq, and then she showed me a photo of him. Planned a Tinder date that had me book a ticket to a nearby city to meet up with her. Went to our meetup location, waited, went to text her 15 minutes after she was supposed to get there. Blocked everywhere, completely ghosted. I asked a girl out and she looked me up and down and then said, "I'd rather shovel pig shit for a penny a pound with a baby spoon than go out with you." I ended up marrying her. I F36 met him 33 at a festival in Germany, then spent a week in the app I had in Berlin. He love bombed me, made me feel safe, shared big plans for big dreams, and I had shiny eyes. He left for Indonesia, invited me to join him in Bali, which I did 2 weeks later. Stuff of fairy tales. I really fell for him. 2 days after I arrived, he's not feeling it anymore. That was a little over a month ago and him still not over it. He ghosted me, and then after 3 weeks of radio silence from him, he texts, "Hey, are you ghosting me?" In high school, I liked a boy, and at the time, I loved paper gifts handmade. I remember making a cute little tulip out of colorful paper, and it even had a scent. I gave the flower to him during the break, and when I returned to the classroom after lunch, a girl had that same exactly flower on her desk. So, I asked how she got it and she said, "I didn't get it, I found it in the trash and decided to take it home." Just before I quit Tinder and other online dating apps, the straw that broke the camel's back for me after a few horrible first meets. This guy was like an accountant or someone that worked in finance, and advertised himself as an intellectual. He did said 2 days before our scheduled meet if he did not find me intellectually stimulating within the first 15 minutes he will end the date. He did it in 10, was very standoffish around me and borderline cordial, mean maybe snarky. It hella broke my self-confidence and I swore off the apps for a long while. I went to visit this girl I thought I had a mutual thing with at her college and stayed in her super tiny single dorm room. I was sleeping on the floor already, not a great sign for my chances, but I was a gentleman and also an idiot. She left while I was sleeping, came back with some other dude, and started getting busy with him in bed above me. The noise woke me up and I was out of there. I drove 2 hours home on 3 hours of sleep while blasting System of a Down to stay alert. In retrospect, we were never going anywhere, at least partly because I sucked to be around at that age and had a lot of growing up to do. I'm grateful that I didn't spend any more time with her than I already had. I still would have appreciated an upfront thanks, but no thanks rather than whatever the fuck kind of rejection that was supposed to be. We'd been living together for 8 years. Just came back from a holiday and a switch seemed to flip in his brain. Started acting rude and picking fights. Wouldn't explain the change. After 1 month, he says that he thinks I should move out. I still don't know why, and it was 15 months ago. Confessed my feelings to a girl I was good friends with, but she told me she wasn't looking to date at the time, which I accepted. Next day I saw her making out with her new boyfriend. I still don't understand why she wasn't just honest with me, as, up until then, we shared a lot between each other. That friendship was also over very quickly after that. I didn't feel like talking to her for a while and she started fully ignoring me anyway, as she was always with her BF. It was in my 20s. My best friend and I went out and we met 2 guys. One of starts talking me and we get along very well. He asked me out. The date went well, then I asked him for a second date. Then he just said he was attracted to my friend, just too shy to talk to her. So he thought he maybe could convince me to ask her what she thinks about him. It's tied between one time I asked a guy if he wanted to get lunch together and he said he already ate. Like what? You already ate for the next year's worth of lunches? Just say no lol. The other thing that comes to mind was when I was flirting with a friend and tried on a slave Leia costume and asked him what he thought, and he like immediately shut me down by starting to critique its lore accuracy or something. I was doing political volunteer work. He was a paid political consultant. He was funny and smart and I thought we had a decent rapport. Until he was talking to another guy and, with me standing right there, said, "It seems I attract only the hideous and repulsive." One of my friend once got rejected in probably the weirdest way possible. She was at a party and there was this guy she had been eyeing all night. They were vibing, talking about music and random stuff, so she figured she'd go for it. She leans in, kind of flirty, and asks if he wants to hang out sometime. He just looks at her, dead serious, and says, "I would, but I've got this really intense Minecraft server to manage, it's kinda my priority right now." She honestly didn't know how to respond. Crush accepted my confession at first, but my jealous best friend liked the same crush as me, ruined everything by spreading nasty rumors and shit. Crush took my side, but decided that they didn't want to give me a chance anymore. Being told that I was too fat to my face as he arrived to the date. He just said that and then turned around and walked out. I like you too, but I can't date people that aren't Mormon. Had a good going with a friend making her laugh and all. Asked her out after collecting courage. No. You're the kind of boy all the girls want to marry, but not the kind of boy we want to date. I was 14. I found out my fiancé slept with my mother. Yep, felt totally rejected and called off the wedding. 12 years later he still hasn't changed and wishes he could be with me. So glad I didn't marry him.